Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to be doing my autumn makeup routine. So as you guys know, every season I do my updated makeup routine because usually depending on the weather and depending on the season my makeup style changes and also my makeup products change. So I thought I would bring this video today as we're in September. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and let's get started. Okay, so firstly I just want to apologize about this light. There is absolutely nothing I can do about it. It is so bright out today. So I personally like to start off with brows just because it means I can clean up my brows without ruining the rest of my makeup. So the first product that I'm going to be using is the NYX The Brow Glue. This is the clear one. They do also have a coloured one. So what I like to do is I like to go like backwards and forwards to really coat each brow. And then I get the back or whichever side of the brow glue and I just flatten it against my skin, and then I get the end of the brow glue and I just shape my brow to how I want it. I'm personally just hating all my brow products at the moment. I have the Refy brow pencil, which I've actually just run out of, so I won't be using that today, but that is what I usually use. But even that, I'm just not happy with my brow routine. I think I want to go back to the Benefit Precisely my brow pencil because I remember that being really good and I really like that. But yeah, I'm gonna wait for these to dry, and while I'm waiting for them to dry, I'm actually going to remove the excess around my brows just with some tissue. And now before I go in with my brow product, I'm gonna go in with the Milk Hydro Grip primer. The reason I put this on before I do my brow products is because I'll be concealing around my face afterwards, so I want to make sure I have my primer on before. I'm nearly out of this product, and you know when you kind of just are using a product, just kind of get rid of it. Like I literally have absolutely nothing left on it. By the way, I'm looking here because I have a massive mirror here. Any products that, you know, I'm kind of starting to run out of, I'll just start using them religiously in my makeup routine to get rid of. And that is one of those products. I do love it. I think it's such a good primer. But I've had this since like lockdown. Like I'm not joking you. I think I bought this in like 2020. And I know recently it went viral on TikTok, but I've had this for literally 3 years. I'm just ready for it to be done. Okay, because I don't have my Refy brow pencil, it is literally completely out of product. I'm going to use just a brown shadow. I'm just going to use the Colourpop Nude Mood palette. I use this all the time, and I'm just going to use the shade Moody. It's kind of like a warm brown, and just fill on my brows. Okay, we're going to go with that because there's nothing I can really do about it. So we're now going to carve out our brows with concealer. This is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer in the shade 1N. It just looks like this. I think Molly May used this in a recent video. And what we're going to do is we're literally just going to start carving out our brows. I always start with the brow that I want it to look like the most, which is usually this brow, and then I'll just prime my lids with it, whatever is left on the brush too. And then I'm just going to leave the tops of my brows now, and I'm going to carve that with my foundation. Okay, so the foundation that I've been using for my everyday makeup routine has been the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. This one is just super lightweight, it's super glowy, and it gives the right amount of coverage, because even though it is my everyday makeup routine, I still like a bit of coverage on my face. I'm just that girl. I just love coverage on my face. I use a beauty blender with this. I know some people like to use a brush with it, but personally for me, I feel like when you use a brush it just doesn't go on as smoothly, and at least with the beauty blender it'll soak up any excess product. So I use like half a pump per cheek, so like a full pump on my cheeks, and always make sure to blend down your neck as well. My tan always tends to come off my neck first. So like I said, I'm going to use foundation to just go around the tops of my brows, because otherwise my concealer is obviously lighter than my foundation. I just like it to be that tad shade lighter. So if I put concealer around my brows, and I've only recently noticed this, it's gonna create a really light outline on the top, and it's just gonna look so weird where I have like a light line and then my foundation. Once that is all blended, I'm gonna move on to cream contour now. So even though this is, like I said, an everyday makeup routine, I still like to use cream products as well as powder. So I'm going to be using the Milk Makeup little bronzer stick. This is in the shade Baked, and I just like to put it on my forehead, and I recommend working in sections with this product just because it tends to dry out quite quickly. So I'm just putting a small amount on. That's why I'm not using like any full coverage stick. I'm just using this one because this one I find has a little bit of a lighter coverage. Whereas like say my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer, which has like full coverage, is quite thick, and then so is my Penny's Primark foundation stick. So at least with this one it's a little bit less coverage and looks a little bit more natural when it comes to cream bronzer and cream contour. So it just adds, as you can see, just a little bit more definition to my face. Okay guys, sorry if the angle has changed. My memory card ran out of space. I've changed the settings on my camera, so it's taking up more space. So it just like, it stressed me. I need to get a bigger SD card. Okay, so now that I have cream contour done, I'm going to move on to concealer. So for today, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer in the shade Coconut Flakes. This is another product that went viral on TikTok. I haven't really used this in my videos much, and it's usually because this product is quite matte, but my skin today is quite oily, so we're going to use it today. So I just popped it underneath my eyes, my forehead, and my chin, and I'm just going to use my beauty blender just to blend it in. So I only tend to put a little bit in my forehead and a little bit on my chin, and the reason I keep it as a small amount in those areas is because the foundation has already done the most coverage for those areas, but I just want to make sure that it's balanced out with my under eyes. Whereas my under eyes, I didn't put any foundation, so I need to cover it with concealer. This is a really nice concealer. I feel like if you have oily skin, you're going to love this. Or if you're someone who may have dry skin but likes a bit more of a matte under eye, I feel like this is so gonna be your vibe. Now we're gonna move on to cream blush. Okay, so for cream blush, I've gone back to an OG. I've gone back to the Nude Sticks Nudies All Over Face color in the shade In the Nude. It's such a nice like blush shade. It's really weird because online I was looking for this blush and just to see if there's any other colors that I would like, and this shade online does not show up in the pictures as well as it does in person. So like the shade that it shows online is not the shade that it arrives in person. Like in person it's like a pinky, slightly peach, more browny blush shade. It's not what it shows the photo as. But anyways, I just like to pop that on my cheeks with a brush and just dip it in, and it just is the nicest pink shade ever, and I like to kind of like really bring it in and under for more of an everyday look. And then once again going in with my beauty blender just to make sure all of that is blended out. Now we're going to go in with powder, and the powder that I've been loving and it's in every single makeup routine and I don't think it'll change is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder in the shade Translucent. We all know it, we all love it. So I start with my forehead and I'm just going to press it in with a like fluffy tapered brush. And I really like to make sure I'm setting my face because, like I said a million times, even though I have dry skin, naturally some oils are going to come through and I don't want it to break up my makeup. And I'm just setting my eyelids as well because we will be doing a little bit of eyeshadow and stuff today. So then for like my cheeks, I'm going to kind of bake my cheeks purely so when I'm putting on my powder bronzer I know where I want it to go, and as well it'll just set that part of my face there. And then I'm just going to feel my under eyes just to make sure they are set. And okay, for bronzer, you can obviously already guess it. This is the MAC Mineral Skin Finish in the shade Dark. I know I've said this a million times as well, but I just cannot stray away from this bronzer. It is just an OG, and it has never failed me. It makes me look bronzy. It doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look muddy because it is that baked formula. Like, you've heard me talk about this a million times. I don't need to keep going on about it. Also, ignore these baby hairs. Postpartum hair loss is starting to grow back in after it's many weeks of torture. And I just kind of like run it over my nose, whatever's left on this. Just kind of warm it up a bit. Okay, so everything's starting to look a bit more matte now, so I'm actually going to go in with more of a glowy blush. Now usually with this cream blush I would use the MAC Melba, but like I said, everything's looking a bit more dry, it's looking a bit more just dull, so I'm going to go in with my Hourglass palette. This was from their holiday collection. Their new ones have actually just been announced, and they pretty much all look the same every single year, but this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Unlock. This is the elephant one. I think this is number 1 or number 2. Actually, I think this might be number 2 or maybe number 1, I'm not sure. But basically you get a bronzer, 3 like illuminators. This one's more of a highlight, and then 2 blushes. So I'm gonna go for this middle blush here. This one is the shade Iridescent Coral. I'm not sure if you can get that shade individually, but Hourglass has so many individual blushers that you can pick up that are pretty much the same color, so it kind of gives a little bit of a sheen as well as adding a little bit of color to your face. It just basically brightens up my face a little bit and just makes my cheeks look a lot more lifted. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe off that bake now. And guys, I know it probably looks like a lot of blusher and a lot of bronzer, but my cheeks fade so quickly, so I have to put a lot on in the morning for it to look semi-decent by the time I leave. So I use 2 setting sprays for my setting spray, and the reason is because I love the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist, but I do feel like it doesn't make my makeup last that well. However, the Charlotte Tilbury Herber's Flawless Setting Spray makes my makeup last, but it doesn't melt my makeup. So I put these 2 together. So I go in my e.l.f. one first to melt it all together. And I'm gonna be extra and use a fan. Just to dry that down. And literally straight away I'm gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. And I do this all before mascara and eyeshadow, because then it's not gonna, if any like dots land on my face, it's gonna land on my cheeks that I can easily correct. Versus if it lands on my eyes, it's a nightmare to try and fix, and also it might make my mascara run. Okay, so for my eyes, I start off with my bronzer that I was using on my face, and I always do this no matter what bronzer it is. I will always use whatever bronzer I use on my face on my eyes as a transition shade. It just gives a little bit of depth to the eye, and it just makes your eye look a little bit more lifted. So I literally just put this mainly on like the outer corner and then blend it into the crease. And then once the bronzer is in place, I'm gonna go in with a light pale shade on my lid. So again, we're dipping back into the Colourpop Nude Moon palette, and I'm gonna use this shade here, which is Bluffin'. And you've probably seen me do this a million times, but I literally just pack it on straight from the inner corner kind of to like halfway. And what this does is it just opens up the eye a bit more and kind of like elongates it, because I have slightly hooded eyes, thanks man and granny. So I just like to pack it on, and it, like, as you can see, just opens it up that little bit more. And now it's time for liner. When I have tan on, I just like to do a little bit of liner. When I'm pale, I feel like any eye makeup just makes me look crazy. So I'm going to go back into my New Mood palette, and the shade that I use for my brows I'm going to use as my liner, so it's the shade Moody here. It's kind of more of a warmer brown. I like more of a warmer brown just because my eyes are green, and I just feel like a cool tone brown just looks a bit odd on me. I'm literally just stomping this along the lash line, and I'm not going to do a wing. I know you thought I was going to do a wing, but I'm not going to do a wing. I found that this just makes my eyes look a bit more deeper and have a bit more dimension to it. And then I save the wing for when I'm going out. So that is like the hard part of our makeup done, is getting all that shit done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to curl my lashes, pop on mascara. I don't know if I said this before, but I am strictly using brown mascara. I'm never going back to black mascara unless I'm wearing lashes. And this is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It's a brown one. I don't love this formula, but it's the only brown mascara that I've found. I do remember and recall Benefit Roller Lash coming in a brown, and that is my favourite mascara of all time. But I can't seem to find it, so if anyone knows where I can get that, please let me know. But I'm gonna throw this on and then we'll come back for lips. Okay, I'm back with mascara on and I'm gonna do lips. My favorite lip combo at the moment is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat Liner in the shade Iconic Nude, and then the Charlotte Tilbury also lipstick in the shade Nude Kate. This combo, I just ripped the nib of that off. Lucky I brought my liner. This combo is literally my favorite. If you like a brownie nude like myself, I'm not really a pinky nude person. I feel like some redheads can pull it off. I don't think I am one of those redheads that can pull off a pinky nude or pink in general. And then just pop the lipstick on the center. I love these lipsticks so much. But the only thing I hate about them is they don't last that long because they're so creamy, but they're so creamy. So guys, that is the end of my everyday makeup routine for autumn. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and make sure you subscribe and let me know if there's any makeup products that is in your routine that was also in mine. But yeah, I love doing my everyday makeup routine for you guys because the products change so often. But if you want me to do any other makeup tutorials, please let me know, because I feel like it's been a long time coming of me getting back into makeup, and now that I am going to have some days to myself, I'll be able to do them for you without rushing or without worrying that I'm going to be interrupted by a baby. But yeah, I really hope I will see you guys in my next video, and yeah, see you then. Bye.